Capricorn. Between June 22nd and 25, something powerful is calling you, not from the outside world, but from deep within your soul. This is the moment you've secretly felt coming for years. The moment when Saturn, your ruling planet and karmic master, activates the final soul trial written into your life contract. This isn't just another tough week. This is a cosmic checkpoint. A moment so powerful it was coded into your destiny before you were even born. You are the soul of the mountain, the one who was built for the storm. But even you must now face Saturn's final trial. This trial isn't about punishment, it's about awakening. Awakening your deepest strength, your soul's original blueprint, and the reason you chose to incarnate during this timeline. Capricorn, the universe knows what you've survived. It knows the sacrifices you've made, the pressure you carry, the responsibilities you never asked for, but took anyway. And now, the world is crumbling. Old systems are falling, and Saturn is asking you one question. Will you rise as the builder of the new world, or fall under the weight of the old one? This is not random. This is prophecy. Between June 22nd and 25, a spiritual portal will open, and only those who have walked through lifetimes of discipline, pain, and growth will be summoned. Capricorn, this is your calling. You are not like the others. You don't need attention, you need alignment. This final Saturn trial will test your roots, your identity, your legacy. You'll be shown illusions, pulled by emotion, tempted by old versions of yourself. But if you pass this test, everything changes. You don't just shift timelines, you unlock the path to rebuild what was broken, not just for yourself, but for generations to come. So the real questions are, what is the Saturn trial? Why is it appearing now, in June 2025? And what exactly unlocks in your soul if you pass? Capricorn, if you felt tired, tested, isolated, or strangely alert, this is why your soul knew this was coming. And now, the mountain is shaking, the chains are breaking, the old world is collapsing, and only one sign was born to rebuild it. Capricorn, let's begin. Capricorn isn't just another zodiac sign, it's a cosmic contract. While others chase comfort or praise, you were assigned responsibility, structure, and truth. You didn't choose the easy path, you chose the real one. And at the heart of that path is Saturn. Saturn isn't just your ruling planet, it's your karmic mentor. It governs time, law, justice, order, and destiny. When Saturn shows up, especially in your life, it doesn't play around. It brings pressure, restrictions, delays, and challenges not to destroy you, but to forge you into something unbreakable. That's why your life has felt heavier than most. Why you've always carried weight that wasn't yours. Why people have leaned on you, even when you had no one to lean on. Because Saturn has been training you for this moment. From June 22nd to June 25th, that training reaches its peak. This is what we call the Saturn trial, the final karmic checkpoint before you ascend into your higher timeline. If you've been feeling emotionally distant, spiritually blocked, or strangely triggered lately, you're not broken. You're being spiritually measured. Capricorn, this test is sacred, and it has one goal: to see if you are ready to lead, but not lead the way the world taught you, not through force or status, but through alignment, inner mastery, and truth. This is why so many distractions are showing up right now. Old habits, old fears, old people who once made you feel small. It's Saturn's way of asking, are you truly done with who you used to be? Or do you still believe you have to suffer to prove your worth? This test is not just a moment in time. It's a crossroad between repeating the karmic loop or breaking it forever. Ignore this window, and the same cycles may haunt you until 2033. But pass this test, and something massive unlocks: a new karmic contract, soul-level respect from the universe, a divine mission with impact, legacy, and peace. Capricorn, you've climbed many mountains, but this is the one that leads to your true destiny. because Saturn doesn't just give blessings. It rewards those who survive the storm and stay aligned with their soul. And you've earned the right to rise. Capricorn, when Saturn moves, it doesn't knock gently. It shakes your foundation to see what still stands. And between June 22nd and 25, that shake becomes a test, a final trial designed to expose your patterns, your power, and your truth. But how do you know if the trial has begun? Look for these three prophetic signs. Sign 1, extreme resistance. You're working harder than ever and seeing less progress. You're showing up and still hitting invisible walls. Even simple tasks feel like you're walking through mud. Capricorn, this isn't failure, this is divine friction. Saturn is applying pressure, not to punish you, but to test your persistence. It wants to see, will you retreat when things don't go your way? Or will you rise above emotion, ego, and exhaustion and keep going anyway? Because those who pass the Saturn trial don't just hustle, they align. Sign 2, ghosts from the past to return old wounds, old lovers, old versions of you. Suddenly they're all back. Not physically maybe, but energetically. You might get a message from someone you cut off years ago. You might revisit an old job opportunity or fall into habits you thought were gone. This is Saturn's second test. Have you truly learned, or will you respond the same way again? Capricorn, this is sacred recycling. It's not about the person, it's about your reaction. If you still feel the need to prove something to them, fix something, or seek closure, you're still attached to a version of you that no longer exists. Let go. Choose differently. That's how you break the karmic loop. Sign 3, feeling disconnected from purpose. The most painful sign is the silence. You're not lazy, you're not lost, but nothing feels aligned. The work you used to love feels empty. Your goals feel blurry. Even your spiritual practices may feel dull. Capricorn, this isn't failure, it's realignment. Saturn is pressing reset on your soul compass because the next version of your purpose is too big to fit in the box you've been living in. So it strips away the noise, the false confidence, the borrowed dreams, and leaves you alone, not to punish you, but to reintroduce you to your truth. Capricorn, if you're experiencing any of these signs, the Saturn trial is underway. It's not a breakdown, it's a breakthrough in disguise. Now is not the time to give up. Now is the time to listen, shift, and remember who you are. Because the final reward only comes to those who face the test and walk through it with awareness, wisdom, and soul authority. You've got this. Capricorn, you've been taught your entire life to climb. Climb the mountain, climb the ladder, climb the system, climb your way out of pain, out of struggle, out of poverty, out of fear. And because you're Capricorn, you did it. You became strong, disciplined, respected, maybe even successful in the world's eyes. But Saturn doesn't just reward outer success, it tests the soul beneath it. And now, between June 22nd and 25, you're being shown the hidden karmic trap. The trap is false success, the shiny opportunity, the job title that looks good on paper, the relationship that gives you status but not peace, the hustle that looks impressive but drains your spirit. Capricorn, the world will offer you thrones right now, but not all thrones are meant for kings. Some are meant to distract you from your purpose, to tempt you back into the old system, the one you came here to outgrow. You see, this trial isn't just about if you can survive difficulty. It's about what you'll choose when things start looking easy again, when money calls, when people finally see your value, when comfort shows up dressed as success. Will you forget the mission, or will you remember that the real crown isn't worn on your head, it's built in your soul? The Saturn trial is designed to expose your ego's deepest desire, to be finally seen, validated, admired. But validation isn't victory. Alignment is. You're not being asked to prove yourself anymore. You're being asked to trust yourself, to walk away from the fake throne, even when it glitters, even when it flatters your wounds, even when it promises security, because your real power isn't built in the spotlight. It's forged in the silence, in the hard decisions, in the moments no one applauds. Capricorn, the trap is seductive. It will look like a breakthrough, but it's actually a loop, a soul-level distraction meant to delay your rise. Saturn's lesson is clear. If you choose what flatters your ego, you stay in the old story. But if you choose what feeds your soul, you write a new one. And that new story, it begins with saying no to the wrong throne, so you can finally take your place on the right one. Not the one the world built for you, the one your soul was born to rule from. Capricorn, if you pass Saturn's final soul trial between June 22nd and 25, you don't just walk forward, you walk through something sacred, because this isn't just a spiritual test. It's a cosmic doorway into your next 7-year soul contract. Yes, it's that big. This trial exists to end the old cycle and activate something higher, purer, and more aligned with your true mission. So what exactly unlocks? Let's break it down. 1. You break the family pattern. Capricorn, you didn't just inherit blood, you inherited burdens, unhealed trauma, scarcity mindsets, silent suffering, responsibility you never asked for. If you pass this trial, you break the karmic agreement that's haunted your bloodline for centuries. You become the one who says, "It ends with me." And the ripple of that decision frees not just your future, but the ones who came before you. 2. You receive divine clarity. The fog lifts, the confusion ends, the goals you've been chasing suddenly feel meaningless, and the ones you were afraid to claim start calling your name. If you pass Saturn's trial, the noise clears, and purpose clicks into place like a cosmic lock being opened. You'll know what to let go of. You'll feel which direction is right, even if no one else understands it. You'll stop asking for permission, because you'll feel the alignment into you. 3. You step into a new 7-year soul contract. This is the big one. Every 7 years, your soul signs a new energetic contract with the universe, based on your growth, choices, and alignment. Pass this test, and your contract upgrades. You'll find higher support. You'll attract people aligned with your future, not your past. Your efforts will multiply, because they're finally plugged into your true timeline. And more than anything, you'll feel peace. Not the kind that comes from rest, but the kind that comes from finally knowing you're on the right path. Capricorn, you don't just survive, you rebuild, you lead, you architect. You found something that future generations will thank you for, even if they never know your name. The pain you've endured, it wasn't in vain. The silence you walked through, it wasn't empty. It was preparation for this, for now, for you. This is your moment to rise, not as a follower of fate, but as a builder of destiny. You were chosen for this era for a reason, and if you pass the Saturn trial, you don't just shift your life, you rewrite your legacy. Capricorn, this final trial isn't just about your future. It's about how you hold your past. Saturn doesn't just test your strength, it asks a deeper, more sacred question. Will you carry the pain forward, or will you transform it into power? Because truthfully, you've already survived what would have broken most people. The nights you cried in silence, the times you gave your best and still felt unseen, the roles you played just to keep everything together while falling apart on the inside. Capricorn, you didn't just grow up early, you grew wise early, because Saturn made sure of it. But now it asks, will you keep carrying pain as armor? Or will you finally put it down and rise in your full truth? The mirror is in front of you. On one side is the child who never felt safe. On the other is the future self, the one who no longer needs to prove anything to anyone. That future version of you, they've healed, they've remembered their power, they've stopped begging for love and started radiating it. But to become them, you must answer this. Do you believe you are worthy, without struggle, without performance, without punishment? Because Capricorn, you were never meant to live your life as a debt to be repaid. You were meant to build something holy. And Saturn knows you've done the work. That's why the test is so subtle now. It's no longer outside of you. It's inside. It whispers in your thoughts. Have you truly forgiven yourself? Have you really let go of what they did? Have you stopped believing that you have to earn your existence? These are the final walls, and only you can tear them down, because when you do, you rise, not as the wounded warrior, but as the sacred builder of a new story, your story. Not the one your family gave you, not the one the world forced on you, but the one your soul came here to live. Capricorn, you've passed harder tests, but this is the most meaningful one, because if you rise now, with love instead of armor, with worth instead of proving, with peace instead of pressure, then the Saturn trial becomes your Saturn initiation. And the version of you that steps forward next, they are unstoppable, unshakable, and finally free. Capricorn, this isn't just astrology, this is prophecy. June 22nd to 25 is not just a week. It's the doorway your soul has been waiting for lifetimes. This is your final karmic checkpoint before a new soul era begins. Not just for you, but for your entire bloodline. Because Saturn didn't just assign you hardship, it assigned you a mission. You were never chosen for comfort. You were chosen for impact, for leadership, for restoration. While others were given pleasure, you were given pressure. But here's the divine truth. Saturn wants you to understand now. That pressure wasn't punishment, it was preparation. It was forging the soul who could carry the weight of a new world. And that soul is you. Capricorn, everything that's breaking right now, it's not your failure. It's the death of an outdated structure inside you, one that cannot come with you into this next chapter. The chains you've felt since childhood, the silence, the pressure, the invisible burden, it's all ancestral weight. But it's ending with you, because you were born not just to end karma, but to begin legacy. So the prophecy is this. If you rise between June 22nd and 25, the universe will match your energy with divine rewards, alignment, clarity, protection, and expansion. Doors that have been sealed for years will suddenly unmam. People who drained your light will fall away without effort, and your real life, the one your soul signed up for, will finally begin. But if you ignore this moment, if you fall back into fear, distraction, or proving, you reset the wheel. You replay the story, and Saturn's test returns again in 2032. Capricorn, this is your soul's hour, your final call from the mountain. You are not here to just exist. You're here to build, guide, lead, and remember who you really are. The chains are already loosening, the mountain is already opening, and Saturn is already watching. So rise now, with clarity, with courage, with conviction. Because if you do, the future will remember you as one of the few who didn't just awaken, but rebuilt the world from the ashes of the old one. Comment: I accept the Saturn trial. Like if this prophecy hit your soul. Subscribe for more Capricorn soul guidance. Share this with another Capricorn. Their time has come too.